So one advantage you have of having a Thailand channel which talks about moving here and has a lot of members that are expats and people that live here, long timers and things like that, is you get an inside scoop into what people are thinking and feeling in the country. And of course the sample size is not great, my channel is not huge, but you can see from the proportion of comments what people are thinking and feeling. And one comment that I've been getting quite recently from a number of people is that they've either changed their minds on coming to Thailand to live here, or that they already live here and they're moving to either the Cambodia, to Vietnam, to Laos. Laos is another popular one that seems to be coming up a lot these days. Now, I'm sure long-term expats that watch this channel, you know already that this always happens, that there's always people that kind of throw the dummy out the pram and say, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm leaving, but then they don't actually leave and they stay. That doesn't feel like this at the moment. Like, what's happening at the moment feels quite different. It feels that generally that people are not saying bad things about the country, but they genuinely are reevaluating coming, retiring here and living here, and they want to reevaluate what they plan for the retirement. And some of the reasons for this, well, the reasons are multivariate. I'm going to talk about some of them now as I get this lovely noodle. สั่งก๋วยเตี๋ยวได้ไหมครับเอาก๋วยเตี๋ยวเส้นเล็กกินนี่นะครับกินที่นี่ใช่ครับแล้วก็เอานึ่งที่กระบาลด้วยเส้นเล็กเหมือนกันเส้นเล็กเหมือนกันใช่ครับ Get a noodle and get a table at some distance from other people so I'm not interrupting them with my incessant talking. Some of you would have seen this spot before. It's my local noodle place. Cheap as you like, and she's a fantastic cook. I got some to take home for Otis as well. So rather than me talking about something that I may not quite understand fully due to the sample size of my channel and the unusually high rate of comments coming from expats that are wanting to move away from Thailand that already live here, and those that are kind of reevaluating their retirement plans, I wanted to use this vlog more as a survey rather than for me to tell you guys. And I'd like to let you guys let me know in the comments. I mean, some of you are not even thinking about moving to Thailand or not even interested in moving to Thailand, but let me know in the comments, have you been thinking about moving elsewhere? And if you have, for what reason? I'm going to give you a couple of case studies now. I've had one subscriber reach out, said he's decided that's to pack up and move over to the Philippines. This is a comment from a guy called Frank, if my memory serves me correct. And so he's decided to pack up. I'm sure Frank will leave a comment as well if he's watching this. He decided to pack up, leave Thailand, go to the Philippines for various reasons. I got another friend that's been checking out Vietnam and taking a look at Vietnam and seeing how easy it is to live and work in Vietnam. And the reasons that are coming up again and again for why they're actually doing this is, you know, one of the top ones is this tax thing. I think the main problem with this tax thing is that nobody really understands it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I understand it and that I'm an expert on it. Really, I shouldn't even comment on it. Talk to a lawyer, talk to a tax expert. But the problem is, even these lawyers and tax experts, from what I can see, they don't even know what's going on. A lot of the sentiment is kind of just wait and see, and it's not quite clear who has to do what, who has to file what, and so I think this confusion and like there's a lot of question marks over this. The fact that for those that don't know that if you live here you're gonna have to pay tax on money that you bring into the kingdom, whether it be for your pension, whether it be for your pension, or perhaps it's for your pension, perhaps it's for buying a house, buying a condo. Are you gonna have to pay tax on it? I mean, I don't know, and a lot of people don't seem to know too. But this confusion has led to a lot of people thinking, when I'm retiring, I've paid tax on all my income all my life. A lot of the money that's coming into Thailand is already earned income anyway, and I've paid tax on it. And even the idea, and not even the reality, even the idea of paying tax on income that's already been taxed, or potentially having to go through documents and all this and show tax returns from whatever country, the idea is scaring some people off. Now, that's one of the the reasons, one of the problems that people have decided, the comments that I've read, people have decided I'm going to go to greener pastures. The other one is all the situation with the Farang in the news, the general sentiment, the worry that the sentiment towards Farang here may be negative. That seems to be another characteristic. The changing landscape of Thailand is another one, in that, you know, Thais are complaining, of course, that certain areas have certain nationalities that are bringing in certain problems, and that you know, the whole culture is being taken over. Well, actually, some Farang don't like that too. Some Farang live in Thailand because they want to live in Thailand. They don't want to live in another Western country filled with certain nationalities. So what made it beautiful in Thai and the Thai culture in some areas is dropping away. And so that is a problem not only for Thais but for expats that want to come and live a certain way in Thailand. Now, I think also, like, the price of things, like the ability to stay, I think it's still affordable. I mean, I'm doing on the main channel the costs for 2024, and our costs have gone up about 30% to last year, but I'll explain in that vlog why that is. There's particular reasons for it, and so I think that it may not just be a completely price sensitive reasons for thinking about new locations. Now, if you guys are planning your retirement here and you've changed your mind, let us know why in the comments. If you already live here and you've decided to look at greener pastures, tell us why in the comments. For me personally, you know, we have the house here, we have the Airbnb thing here, we have a business registered company, we have Damo's family, we have kids here in school. There's no way to even for me to consider looking at other places to live. I wouldn't, you know, I love Thailand, but then again, I live in a part of Thailand which isn't disturbed, and our kind of the tax situation for us, we have a plan of what we're going to do. We know we've got a good idea of how it works, and so we've got something in place for that. And then the general sentiment still around here, like 95% of Thais are going to greet you and be positive towards you and happy that you're here and stuff. So really, like, this doesn't really apply to me. I'm not planning to move. Even if I was planning to move, I don't think I couldn't move, because there's just my whole family's set up here, everything's set up here. But yeah, this is more of a survey of other people that are considering to move. And you hear this year in, year out too. So every year you hear, I'm leaving, that's it, because they brought some new visa regulation in, or things just like get overly complicated here. Like, people like simple. They like to know what they're doing, keep it nice and simple. They don't want to live in fear of visas not being renewed. They don't want to live in fear of them setting up here and then their income being taxed or not feeling welcome here. So I think ultimately the fundamental reason is fear. Fear for one reason or another, that things are not going to work out, and so maybe opt for another country. There is something to be said, like, I've seen a lot of vloggers covering Laos now as well, and I don't watch a lot of vloggers, to be honest. I can't give you the whole details, but what I've noticed is an increase of people vlogging from Laos. A lot of people choosing Laos as a potential country to retire in. So I think you've got Vietnam, you've got Cambodia. For the Southeast Asia countries anyway, I even had one subscriber that commented about Colombia. But I mean, maybe it's just a stereotype, but I've heard that Colombia is not very safe. But, you know, things change, and you hear a lot of stuff that isn't the reality. You know, what you hear on YouTube is not necessarily the reality of a place. What I do know is there is a mass migration from the USA, from the UK, from Australia, Canada. I think that it's just starting, and I think it's going to pick up and up and up, and I think it's all based a lot around cost of living in these different places, the crime rates in some of these places, like some of these cities in America. People don't feel safe and they want to leave. The fact that the money can buy more over in Southeast Asia, the freedom and the political situation. So, you know, like Canada, from what I can see, has become more and more controlled, and the population more and more controlled, and certain liberties are taken from people. Control of bank accounts and stuff like that, for specific examples. So I think that freedom-loving people are going to want to move away from these countries. They kind of declare themselves as free countries, but are they really? It seems to me like a lot of it's a police state in a lot of these countries like the USA and the UK. It's a police state, there's a lot of government control, there's a lot of tax, a lot of regulation. And so I think that's ultimately going to lead to more mass migration over to countries like this. So maybe it's right that Thailand are stricter. Maybe it's right that they let less and less people in, or you have to meet certain criteria in order to be here. I think that's good. I think if more of our countries, like the US, and in particular I can only talk for the UK, that's where I'm from, but if the UK had been more like, okay, only people from the UK can own land, the way Thailand do, I think that would be a great thing. It would have been a great thing. It's too late now. But and if we'd had stricter regulations to entering the country, I think it would be a whole different country. I think that we can learn a lot from Thailand and the policies that Thailand has in a way that Thailand is, for Thai people. They're looking to their farmers and their population and their, nationality to take care of first before people like me, Farang, coming in. And in that respect, as a Farang coming here, I become a second-class citizen, a second-class immigrant. I don't have the rights of many Thais here, and I'm okay with that. It's not a perfect world, but I think that if you're going to have strict policies for immigration like Thailand do, like I think the UK should have done, then that's the sacrifice that you make. That's the price that you pay, and that the people coming there are going to not have the same rights. I don't have the same rights here in Thailand as a Thai, and that's something that I accept because I live in somebody else's country. I don't immigrate here and say, right, now I'm Thai, this is my country. It's just the Thai law is set up that way, so Thailand is for Thais, and that's a good positive thing, I think. Again, I think the UK's fallen now. The UK is just a complete mess. I've done a video on it before. Third world country, poverty rates there are higher than Thailand, homelessness population is higher than Thailand per capita, and so we're just in a horrible situation. Look at the high streets in the UK. I've got a friend of mine, he's a YouTuber called Wendell, goes around all the high streets in the UK, it's all boarded up, there's people sleeping on the streets. I think it's gone, and I think that more and more people with a bit of money are going to recognise that, and they're going to move to countries like Thailand, to Vietnam, Cambodia. So, but my observation is that there's more talk now about instead of coming to Thailand, going to Cambodia, going to Vietnam, going to Laos, going to these other Southeast Asian. On the Philippines is another popular one as well. So, yeah, treat this vlog as a little bit of a rant and a survey into. I'd like to know what your guys' thoughts are. And I know that some of my comments about the UK and the US may trigger some people, but really I don't really care. I have this channel to give my opinion, and my opinion is not always right. I'm always willing to change my opinion, but my opinion is based on living 15 years in the UK and 15 years in Thailand, so I think I've got a good scope of comparison between the two, and I can tell you quality of life here is much better. Not even a little bit noticeably better, but much better, for various reasons that I've gone on about in other vlogs. So thanks for listening today, guys. I'm going to enjoy my noodle. You got to move it around a bit in the hot water. I bet some people are thinking, when's he going to eat that noodle? You got to move it in the hot water, get it all noodly. Thanks for listening, thanks for coming along with the channel, and do leave your opinions, comments, outrage below.